Hello and welcome back to the Coaches Show on SportsNetUSA.net. My name is Ryan Osborn, and on Saturday, Fullerton College gets the W against Mount Sac, 56-35. It's their second straight victory over Mount Sac in as many seasons. And Fullerton College, well, we're going to talk to their offense coordinator, Garrett Campbell, and we're going to get an update from head coach Perry Webster of the Fullerton College men's basketball team. Not to mention, Vincent Garcia will also rejoin us here on the Coaches Show as well. So with the win on Saturday, the Fullerton College Hornets offense keeps on rolling, and we have the offensive coordinator for the Hornets here in Garrett Campbell. Coach Campbell, gritty type win on Saturday. How does that help your offense?
Well, I think what I really got out of Saturday's performance was the fact that there were times where they scored and we answered back with a score, and that probably happened about 3 different times late in the game even. And there was another time where we got in a takeaway, and then that led to another score on our behalf. So that part of it, just being able to kind of seal a game at the end in a tough game. That was a hard-fought game, and anybody who was there knows that it was a physical game. But be able to put points up in the fourth quarter when you needed to, and then really put the the nail in the coffin with that last touchdown was absolutely critical for our own well-being and being in a game that was tight, and for us to put somebody away at the end was critical.
Pop Thomas is starting to get on a roll for you guys. How does a physical type running back help you?
Well, I'll tell you what you noticed with Pop, and obviously he runs hard all the time, but where we noticed him having the bulk of his yards, we'll say, was in the fourth quarter when the opposing defensive line, linebackers are getting a little tired, a little winded, and Pop is he's a fountain of energy. I mean, he never runs out of energy. It's really kind of crazy, to be honest with you. But where we noticed his physicality running the ball in the fourth quarter really set the tone on Saturday, and that was really kind of an exciting part. It makes it easier as a play caller, I'll be honest with you. When your kids execute and you have someone like Pop who runs in and is going to break arm tackles and break tackles to get first downs, it makes it easy play calling.
You have a fast-paced offense that does leave an offense slightly susceptible to penalties. How do you look to improve on
that? Well, anytime you have more plays, you have a chance for more penalties. It's not so much the penalties of the physical play or playing hard. It's the penalties, jumping off sides at times or maybe misaligning sometimes. Those are the penalties that drive me nuts. Playing hard, you're going to get a block in the back because the kid's just trying his best to make a block. That's going to happen. That's just the game. And like I said, anytime you have more plays, you have an opportunity for more penalties, quite honestly. So we improve it. We work on it every day in the drills that we do, and we're going to continue to do that, and we'll be okay as we go forward.
We talked with Coach Griffin last week. Wide receivers, you guys love to spread it out. What does that amount of weapons allow you to do?
Yeah. On Saturday against Mount Sac, we had 12 different players caught a pass throughout the course of the game. The week before against Canyons, it was 11. It's one of those things that when you have people you can spread the ball around to in different ways, it could be downfield, it could be sideways, whatever it may be, it allows your athletes in space to be able to make plays. And that's what you've seen with putting a guy like DeAndre with half the field to work with and throwing him a go route. Or you see a guy like Marcus Grossman throwing him down the middle of the field when they start to bracket and play double coverage on DeAndre. Teams do that, and when you can swing the ball out to a guy like Butler and be able to throw him a pass, and he'd be able to, or a guy like Hewlett, and they can break it out for 20 or 30 yards on a quick little swing route. It just makes you more dangerous. And that's really the fun part about it, is we have a lot of athletes, and unfortunately we only have one football, so we got to make it go around. But we have a bunch of unselfish young men who are just playing their hearts out and doing a great job with it.
There we go, Coach. Good luck on Saturday.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So since this is the Coaches Show and we love to talk to Fullerton College coaches, we have ourselves the head basketball coach for Fullerton College, Coach Perry Webster. Coach Webster, we're in the strength and conditioning lab. What is your view on your guys lifting weights?
We lift 4 or 5 times a week. It's an important process for our guys, especially when they come to us as 18-year-old freshmen. You get them for 2, sometimes 3 years. You're trying to put on 10 to 15 pounds. Some guys are trying to get leaner. We're trying to increase their strength, their explosiveness, their power. We're big on it in the recruiting process as well. We tell guys we're going to get them bigger and stronger, and we hold them accountable to get in here and really work. Robert Miranda, football coach, has kind of taken the lead on as our strength and conditioning guy since the summer, and he's done a great job. And you can see when you watch our guys, their bodies have changed, and it's an important part of what we do.
As a coach yourself who went to Cal State Fullerton, you also came from Saddleback. Do you emphasize that student part of the term student athlete?
Yes, we do. We our guys required 5 hours a week of study hall. We require the most out of anybody on the campus. Last year, we won the Insight Award, which is our study hall for most hours served. We had a GPA, a team GPA near 3.0. We actually have had to discipline some guys this fall. There's actually 1 or 2 guys that aren't with us right now that are suspended because they've been missing class, and that's a big part of it. That's the biggest part of it. I tell these guys all the time, the educational part is what they're here for. A lot of the reason that a lot of them are here is because they struggled in classes in high school, and really it's just of a lack of accountability, so I'm kind of here to hold them accountable.
Last year, you guys started off with a lot more tournaments to start off the season. How do you think that helps you?
Well, the tournament play is important because in the long run, hopefully, you get to a Final 8. They've gone back to a Final 8 this year. It's not just a Final 4. So the tournament, you're playing 3 games in 3 nights. Well, in order to win a state championship, you need to win 3 games in 3 nights. And that's looking way down the road. But that's the idea behind playing the tournaments and playing one night and having to wake up the next morning and go through a walkthrough to prepare for the next night's battle, and having to be mentally focused. You learn a lot about your guys in those tournament atmospheres. And again, with our team this year, with the depth, we're going to be able to play different guys on the second night than we played on the first night, and I'm looking forward to that.
You guys won the Fullerton College tournament last year. This year, kind of a packed field. What are you looking for in that one?
Yeah, that was done on purpose. Last year, our RPI at the end of the year, we had a lot of quality wins, high quality wins, beating San Bernardino, beating Chaffee. We beat Mount San Jacinto. But we didn't have any other wins, the middle of the road, the over 500 wins. And that kind of hurts you in the playoff seeding. It's kind of an in-depth thing how they seed. We had 2 wins in our tournament against teams that didn't get to 500. So our goal was to up the level of playing. We got rid of LA Southwest, we got rid of LA Trade Tech, and we got rid of Victor Valley. We brought in Citrus, who's a perennial playoff team. We brought in San Diego City, who's a perennial playoff team and always a league champion. And we brought in Mount San Jacinto, who's always a league champion as well, and always a perennial top 5 team in the South. So the level of play is going to be high. We have 7 teams of the 8 that were top, or 6 of the 8 were top 10 last year in the South, and then the 7th team was Citrus, and they ended up going to the Final 16. They upset San Bernardino in the playoffs. So, and all those teams this year look to be strong again. We saw them in the showcase. I'm sure our tournament will get a lot of notoriety because of the teams that are in the field.
What's your favorite part of coaching?
Oh, there's a lot of parts of coaching I like. There's a lot of parts that are difficult as well. I would say from a coaching standpoint, I really like the X's and O's portion. I like to be able to scout and watch film and see what a team's doing, especially preparing for them on our defensive end. I like to be able to do that. That's kind of my background. That's how I learned. So I like doing that. I'm comfortable doing that. But I think the part I like most about the coaching is the relationships with the guys. They don't always love me. I don't always love them, but in the long run, we love each other and we get after it. And I still talk to Julian Richardson. I still talk to Blake McBride. I still talk to a lot of the guys that I previously coached and try to keep relationships with them. And that's the part that's most rewarding. And like we talked about earlier, is when they get scholarships, that's a rewarding facet of this.
Well, thank you, Coach. We look forward to your season.
Yep, thank you.
Since we love to talk about Fullerton College sports here on the Coaches Show, the man who covers all things Fullerton College sports is here with us once more. Vincent Garcia joins us once again here on the Coaches Show. Vincent, what's been happening with the Hornets?
Well, you know how the weather's been hot this week? Well, the football team is much hotter than that. But as for the other sports, there's been a little bit of struggles. Women's volleyball is still struggling, still looking for that win. They haven't won in about, let's just say, 3 weeks, as you could say. Still trying to get that win, but they're looking to bust loose. You just gotta wait on them, and we'll see how it goes. Women's water polo, They faced top-ranked Golden West on Wednesday, and Golden West is the number 1 team in the state. It was a really great game, let's just say that. Even though Fullerton did not come up on top, it was still a close game. It was actually a final of 9-6. So that just goes to show that Fullerton is competitive this year and that they want to beat Golden West because they want to let them know, hey, we are the best team in California. So they're really competing this year, especially against Golden West. It's going to be an interesting season when it comes to those two teams. As for men's water polo, I got a chance to talk to Alexander Alderlon, who is one of the players on the water polo team. And this past weekend, they were playing in the South of the Border Invitational down in San Diego. And they took 3 out of 4. And according to Alexander, he said that the team was a unit and they just didn't rely on their star players. Everybody contributed. And it just goes to show, come on, 3 out of 4. That says it all. It's not about the star players. It's about everybody contributing. And they didn't take the tournament, but they look to take that as an advantage and say, all right, let's work on this. Let's take this weekend and improve. And for cross country, they're improving, but still a little bit sluggish. The women didn't place, but the men got 17th out of 19 teams. Still a lot of work, but we'll just got to wait and see. Women's golf, they started their season. 2 weeks ago, they finished 5th out of 5 teams. Last week, they finished 4th. And they got a match next week. I believe it's October 12th, to be exact. Women's soccer lost both their games against Irvine Valley on Tuesday, and they got shut out by Orange Coast, and they got Santa Ana today, and they traveled to Citrus on Friday. Men's soccer, believe it or not, suffered their first loss against Irvine Valley. And you would think they would fall apart. Nope, not this team. Greg Aviles' team, they always go forward. That's what Corey Edwards told me a couple weeks ago. They always go forward. They're not a team that just busts loose. They don't fall apart when they take a beating or when they take a loss, especially after Irvine Valley. They're going to bounce back. I guarantee once they get Irvine Valley, they're going to be hungry, and they even bounced back on Friday by beating Orange Coast. So they regained. That's a positive. 7-1-1. It's great for the soccer team. And I think this is the year of men's soccer, along with the football team, of course, starting 4-0. So, like I said, the weather's hot, but the Hornets are even hotter this year.
So things are going well in Hornet Land. And Vincent, if people want to tune into your weekly show, where can they do that?
They can listen on their radio in their car or at home, but they have to be in the area of Buena Park, Fullerton, and La Palma. And they have to tune into 90.1 FM KBPK. Remember, that's 90.1 FM KBPK. And they can also listen on the TuneIn app, which is really popular. They can listen on their phone, listen on their computer. All they have to do is just search KBPK or on the radio or on Radio Loyalty. That's all they got to do. Hear the reports every single Tuesday around 6:20. I don't want to say at 6:20 because there's no guarantee that it will be exactly at 6:20 on the dot. So if you want to start listening, be prepared around 6:15. So between 6:15 and about 6:22, you'll hear the reports. But you can also go to the Facebook page. I have been posting links on the Facebook page at Fullerton College Sports Weekly. That's how you're going to find it. And hopefully sometime soon, I will actually get the recordings, make a couple videos, make some like little snapshots with the audio over it, and then post them on Facebook, and you can listen to them again. So if you missed it on air, I got you covered basically.
Fullerton College goes to 4-0 on the season, a big-time win over a big-time rival in Mount Sac, 56-35. They're going to try to go for their 5th win on Saturday at 12 p.m. on SportsNetUSA.net. Mark Pavlovich and Corey Nalen on the call there, once again on SportsNetUSA.net. And since we love to do community college football here on SportsNetUSA.net, LA Valley football will be on SportsNetUSA.net. That'll happen on Saturday at 7 p.m. LA Valley's going to go for their 4th win, and they'll try to get it against Victor Valley. Aaron Rosenberg and myself on the call there for the action. Golden West football, well, they're in kind of a slump, 1-3. They're going to try to get their 2nd win of the season this Saturday with Rashawn Haylock giving you the play-by-play. That'll start at 6 p.m. So for Vincent Garcia, I am Ryan Osborn, and this has been The Coaches Show on SportsNetUSA.net.